Lu Jinian had always seen Qiao Hao as someone who would prefer the main lead in a classic movie. Never would he have expected that Longing would be her favorite. This was the movie that had garnered him national fame, allowing him to enjoy the luxurious life that he was living now. But yet, it was also the film that had caused them to drift. It was the film that he loved yet hated. Lu Jinian drifted into a daze momentarily before lightly blinking his eyes. In a wavering voice, he said, "This is also one of my favorites, but it's also the film I hate too." "Why?" Lu Jinian's expression relaxed slightly, and for a moment, Qiao Hao could have sworn she saw a hint of sorrow on his expressionless face. "It was the film that allowed me to live the life I have now, but it was also the film that caused me to lose the most important person in my life." Losing the most important person in his life. Qiao Hao frowned slightly, remembering that the night before, he had mentioned that he had thought of confessing but it didn't work out. She hesitated before finally asking, "So you confessed after filming Longing and failed?" Lu Jinian was indeed going to confess, but before he could even do it, he had lost his right to do so. He crossed the hands that he had casually placed on his knees. He lowered his lashes and after a long while, he replied with a soft "yay." After another long while, he continued with, "You can say that." Qiao Hao had always been curious about Lu Jinian's love story, but even if she were to find out the entire story, she was the one that would get upset. However, she couldn't keep it in and decided to ask, "Are you still in contact with her?" "We lost contact for a period of time, but nowadays, we still talk." A rush of emotions flooded Qiao Hao's mind. The first half of the sentence had brought about happiness, and the second half brought her into the dumps. They still talk. But how were they progressing now? Lu Jinian is so accomplished and charming, she definitely won't reject him again. Qiao Hao tapped her fingers, her interest in the film lost completely. She pretended to be happy, turning her head towards Lu Jinian. In novels and dramas, couples usually end up together in a happy ending after a separation. I'm sure you'll be the same. She has no idea that he was talking about her. But from her expression, she didn't seem to care that he had someone in his heart, and was even anticipating their reunion. Frustrated, Lu Jinian suddenly stood up, preparing to leave the room. Just before he left, he seemed to have noticed something. After 5 years, they finally were able to interact again. Even though there weren't sparks, they could still hold a conversation calmly without ending on a bad note. He didn't want them to miss out on each other once again. He fisted his hand, suppressing his emotions, before saying bitterly, "She's married."